You're watching Cetome TV. Knowledge is power.
Angela wants to know, am I at greater risk of getting breast cancer if I have larger breasts?
Oh, that's a good question. I think that really boils down to a bunch of different factors. I think it depends on the content of the breast tissue. I would assume if you have larger breasts, there's a higher fat content. I think from what I understand, and I'm not an expert on breast physiology, I believe that, most women have the same size of milk glands and ducts. And what differs in the breast size is the fat content or the muscle content or, the skin. And so I think.
And why is the fat content relevant for cancer development?
Well, fats produce estrogen and they produce other hormones that are, pro-growth promoting. And so they can be a factor. Fats are never a good thing. And additionally, the density of the breasts. I think that's kind of an important factor too, because when you have a very dense breast, it's hard for the imaging to get through to it and really identify what's a tumor based on, because most imaging, like mammographies and CTs, use density differences. So if you have a dense breast tissue, then it's a little hard to see the tumors.
So from a diagnostic perspective, we're back to the new MRI or the CT scan, or the PET CT scans.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Okay, so let's say I have large breasts, and it's a family thing. It's got nothing to do with lifestyle. It's just how I am born and developed. What can I do to help to reduce the likelihood of breast cancer developing then?
Well, it gets back to the basics of health. It really does. Exercise.
The diet.
Exercise is so important for women. Having a healthy diet and keeping your weight down.
Yeah.
And not smoking. Keeping alcohol to a minimum.
Right. So back to the exercise. There's something that I've learned from Alex and sitting in on consultations he has with clients. When he gets to talking about exercise, there's a couple of really important things that exercise does to help slow the growth of cancer. Would you like to share? There's two that stand out for me.
Can you tell me what two?
Oh gosh, now it's
I'll fill in the gaps.
Quiz time. Okay, so this is my limited memory here. So one is when you're doing weight-bearing exercise, you're taxing your muscles, and the immune system or some part of your body has to then go to work repairing those muscles, and that takes food away from cancer cells and kind of deprives them from the blood flow or the food they need. Correct me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yes.
Okay.
It's called competitive inhibition.
Competitive inhibition.
Yeah. So as you're saying, what happens is you create tears in your muscles, and those tears are fixed by stem cells. And those stem cells use the same resources as the cancer-causing stem cells. So healthy stem cells and cancer-causing stem cells both compete for the same mechanisms. So the more muscle you have, the harder it is for the cancer stem cells to get the resources to grow and develop and metastasize.
And so that's why weight-bearing exercise, as opposed to just running, is important. But also, this is a part two, right? That the cardio, getting the blood flowing is crucial as well, because then while those little exosomes, those van drivers, are tootling around in your body, it's harder for them to hook onto places, right? Or for tumors to develop because of the blood flow. Is that right?
There's that. I saw a fascinating video on that one time where it was a picture of a blood vessel, and they had injected cancer cells into this blood vessel. It was through a microscope, and they showed the cancer cell hiding in a little back eddy in the blood vessel wall. The blood vessel wall, when you magnify it, has all these little holes and crevices and so on. And this cancer cell was hiding in there, and you saw these immune cells cruising up and down, going against the flow of the blood and so on. And then what they did was they increased the flow of the blood as you'd get with exercise, and it created more turbulence, and it pushed that little cancer cell out of its little hidden cubby. And the immune cells saw it right away and just jumped on it. The macrophages just tore it apart. It was very impressive to watch.
Yeah, there's your immune system at work.
Yes.
So once you get the blood flow, the circulation up, it gives your immune system so much more power to help you to fight cancer.
There's also a lymphatic system. So our lymphatic system is where a lot of our immune system is, in the lymph nodes, and fats and different things pass through our lymphatic system. Problem with the lymphatic system is the lymph fluid is like maple syrup. And so if you don't have that flowing constantly, cancer cells can get caught up in there. And if they're in between lymph nodes, they have no contact with the immune system that lives in these lymph nodes. And then they get stuck in between these two different lymph nodes, and they're allowed to grow without getting attacked by the immune system. So when you exercise, and exercise is pretty well the only way to increase your lymphatic flow, rigorous exercise. So when you exercise, you speed up the lymphatic flow, so the cancer cells pass through more lymph nodes and have more exposure to your immune system. And then there's a bunch of different chemicals, cytokines and chemicals that are released during exercise that actually have anti-cancer properties and that actually prevent proliferation of cancer cells. And those are just some of the mechanisms. There's a lot more that we don't understand. Interleukins, insulin-like growth factors. Another thing is insulin. Insulin is a very carcinogenic molecule. Cancer cells love insulin. And when you exercise, it increases the permeability of your cell membranes, so the sugar can pass through into the cells. So as you know, the job of insulin is to take sugar from the blood and pass it into the cells. It's a transporter. Insulin is like a transporter. And when you exercise, it creates more permeability to these membranes. So some of the sugars can pass through the membrane without requiring insulin. So therefore, your body produces less insulin, and you have less need for insulin. And with that in mind, the less insulin you have in your body, less cancer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. So lots of factors.
Lots of factors. There's so many.
Thank you for watching Ketome TV. Subscribe below and stay informed.